with profound knowledge of revealed scriptures and authoritative references from various Vedic literatures. Srila Srinivasa Acharya describes in his prayers to the six Goswamis that they were all highly learned scholars, not only in Sanskrit but also in foreign languages such as Persian and Arabic. They were very scrutinizingly studied. They very scrutinizingly studied all the Vedic scriptures in order to establish the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the authorized principles of Vedic knowledge. The present Krishna consciousness movement is also based on the authority of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. We are therefore generally known as
Rupanugas.
Rupanu, or followers in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada. It is only for our guidance that Srila Rupa Goswami prepared his book, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is now presented in the form of the Nectar of Devotion. Persons engaged in Krishna consciousness Persons engaged in the Krishna consciousness movement may take advantage of this great literature and be very subtly situated in Krishna consciousness.
Yes. So this is the amazing thing about this book is if you actually read this book nicely, you become a solid devotee. You can become solidly situated in devotional service because it gives the complete science of devotional service very nicely. As we go move forward, you will see the whole bhakti science is very nicely explained in this book, like that. Sometimes people may think bhakti is some kind of sentimental thing, Some people who don't know much, they can just some sing and do some dancing and so bhakti. So people may think like that. But actually it's a great science. And nectar devotion gives very clearly the science. And if we understand it, then we can very nicely practice the science, this our devotional service, and we can attain perfection. Just like if you take any scientific thing, then if you follow the method, it gives you result. Any bona fide scientific process if you follow. So it is something like that. So it's a very scientific thing. So if you systematically follow the path of bhakti, then you will get that success. That's how it is, and it is all backed up by such great acharyas. It's not like all this bhakti thing is coming out of someone's sentiment or something. No, you can see how all these great acharyas, the Jiva Goswami Pad, one of the youngest Goswami amongst his Goswamis, he himself has composed verses which are kind of so much, which is at par with Vedic verses also. Like he has composed lakhs and lakhs of verses, Sanskrit verses. So one Jiva Goswami himself was alone. He has done so much of great work. So they are not ordinary. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Sansthapatam. They have they have learned and they have understood the scriptures of all different, from the Vedic context, and they are bringing the essence of all. And they're bringing the essence of all those scriptures, conclusions of all the scriptures. You can see how they were well learned with so many languages, Persian, Arabic, Texas Goswami is talking about. So, and among them, Sri Rupa Goswami was like the second, Sanatana Goswami was the eldest brother, then Rupa Goswami, they both were brothers actually. So, we call Rupanugas because we are followers of Rupa Goswami. And this book, Nectar Devotion, is given by Rupa Goswami only. And next, somebody can read Bhakti. Robert, you can read. Can you all of you can put your video also on, if possible. I request all of you to put your video also on and please read Robert. You have to unmute Robert.
Bhakti means devotional service. Every service has some attractive feature which drives the servitor progressively on and on. Everyone else within this world is perpetually engaged in some sort of service, and the impetus for such service is the pleasure we derive from it. Driven by affection for his wife and children, a family man works day and night. A philanthropist works in the same way for love of the greater family, and a nationalist for the cause of his country and countrymen. The force which drives the philanthropist, the householder, and the nationalist is called rasa, very kind, of mellow relationship whose taste is very sweet. Bhakti rasa is a mellow, different from the ordinary rasa enjoyed by mundane workers. Mundane workers labor very hard day and night in order to relish a certain kind of rasa, which is understood as sense gratification. The relish or taste of the mundane rasa does not long endure, and therefore mundane workers are always apt to change their position of enjoyment. A businessman is not satisfied by working the whole week. Therefore,
Go ahead.
wanting a change for the weekend, he goes to a place where he tries to forget his business activities. Then, after the weekend is spent in forgetfulness, he again changes his position and resumes his actual business activities. Material engagement means accepting a particular status for some time and then changing it. This alternating sense enjoyment and renunciation. This position of changing back and forth is technically known as boga chaga, which means a position of alternating sense enjoyment and renunciation. A living entity cannot steadily remain either in sense enjoyment or in renunciation. Change is going on perpetually, and we cannot be happy in either state because of our internal constitutional position. Sense gratification does not endure for long, and it is therefore called kapala sukha, or flickering happiness. For example, an ordinary family man who works.
Chapal sukh. It is called chapal sukh.
Oh, yes. Kapala sukha. For example, an ordinary family man who works very hard day and night and is successful in giving comforts to the members of his family, thereby relishes a kind of mellow, but his whole advancement of material happiness immediately terminates along with his body as soon as his life is over. Death is therefore taken as the representative of God for the atheistic class of men. The devotee realizes the presence of God by devotional service, whereas the atheist realizes the presence of God in the shape of death. At death, everything is finished, and one has to begin a new chapter of life in a new situation, perhaps higher or lower than the last one. In any field of activity, political, social, national, or international, the result of our actions will be finished with the end of life. That is sure.
It's amazing, whole verse. You can see that.
Yes.
I really want to hear the reflection from all of you, because it's quite clear, proper the way he has given examples and made it understand us so nicely. So I felt many important points are spoken here. So can you reflect something? Thank you so much. Can you reflect on?
Well, I feel like I'm often alternating between like working super hard and trying to relax really hard, and like so it's difficult. And then I guess when I'm like just pushing myself super hard to work and then super hard and then trying to just relax as much as I can, it's a little often I'm kind of torn between the two. So it's not really the ideal state. Whereas I guess they're talking about the ideal state is kind of more of a, so it's not flickering happiness, but a constant happiness of service.
Yes.
Instead of flickering.
Okay. Let's hear from others also. Any other point anybody wants to share? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can share one point. Bhakti means devotional service, he says. Meaning, he's not saying bhakti means devotion. He's saying devotional service. So Prabhupada has very beautifully translated to devotional service because it's a action. Bhakti is not about just keeping in heart. It's also getting into action. That means you serve. Just like a husband may love wife, then he doesn't say, I love you, I love you, I love you. He will do something. He will bring some ornaments, he will supply whatever needs are there. Correct? So he will do something in action. You cannot say, then
Yes.
why does they get me someone sari also at least? No, just I love you. No. Get me, at least take me somewhere. I'm always just working home only. No, I just love you. No. So that won't work. Love means it has to come in some action also. So my parents have to get into action some way. then only they are expressing their love to their kids. So everybody in this world claims that he has some devotion, some love for anyone. He has to, it has to be translated into some action done for the pleasure of their beloved. Same with bhakti means devotional service. This is one thing which I can reflect on. Anything, yeah.
Just add, there's like two kinds of rasa. The one is probably normal rasa or the mundane rasa.
Mundane rasa.
The other is bhakti rasa.
Bhakti rasa.
Mundane rasa is so obviously you keep fluctuating your so you doing that rasa even if you try for that so you'll get gratification, but it will not be there for long. So again you come back because you realize that it's not your own state.
Correct.
And then if you're not conscious, again you keep going back and forth between sense gratification and then the
Tyaga, renunciation.
realization. So I think which is true if we realize in our normal life, you cannot have even you cannot enjoy anything for long actually. There's always stuff. And
Good point.
Chapala Sukha.
Chapala.
Chapala Sukha. Yeah.
Flickering.
Chapala is flickering.
Chapala. There's one song also. Yes, good point too. Any other point anyone you would like to share?
So I was listening to a podcast today while I was working, and they briefly talked about what in bhakti what devotional service should be, and that they said devotional service doesn't just mean cutting vegetables in the temple or in the kitchen of the temple. Like they said, it also could be reading from the Gita or reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, or just interacting with other devotees, in Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Any other point on the purport? Yes. Anybody else would like to share? But there is always an impetus to serve. Impetus means it is coming from somewhere. No? So what is that impetus? So it's saying that impetus, the driving force, is actually what is called mellow. So there's some mellow one is looking for. That's impetus. So mellow in Hindi it is called, in Sanskrit it is called rasa. So everybody is looking for some rasa. The whole world is, any conscious living being will look for some rasa. So then Prabhupada categorizes into two rasas. There is bhakti rasa and there is mundane rasa. So all this rasa, in terms of trying to get some happiness through family, friendship, society, nation, this all are categorized into mundane rasa only. You understand, no? Like the grossest kind of mundane rasa could be just gross sense gratification. You get some kind of rasa, mundane pleasure. Gross sense gratification. That is one type of rasa. Then there is also some kind of mental comfort, emotional support you get from your mother, father, brother, sister, family, friends. That is also mundane rasa only, with the emotional support. Sometimes why people sometimes want to be at family or have some gathering or talk to some friend because they get some kind of emotional support, correct? No? So that is also rasa. It's also rasa. So some friendship rasa they get, some brotherly rasa they get. They get some father and mother vatsalya rasa. It's not pure vatsalya rasa, but in this world, parental, happiness. So some rasa is there. Same way people want to actually become parents also. So why they also get some rasa with the kids. So there's some rasa. So in this world, everybody is having some rasa in some relationship, right? But this all rasa is a mundane rasa only. It's not spiritual. But he's saying bhakti rasa is a mellow, different from the ordinary rasa enjoyed by mundane workers. So he gives an example that how affection driven by affection for wife and children, family man works day and night. So hard he'll work. Now there's people are coming to America, working so hard, day and night for what? Because they are also looking for some rasa. What rasa? Once they get money, then they may get married, then have some rasa.
Big home.
Big home, they'll have rasa, and then they can also get much from their friends and family members. They can have much more pride that I've done so much, and and then there is some rasa in that, because when the family members see you succeed, then they also feel happy, you feel happy, and then when you go home, you feel, oh, there we have done so much, and you have got so much, all that. So this is all rasa. So all this affection which is there, for family, friends, society, and love, all this in this world, this is also some kind of rasa it is person is trying to feel or is aspiring for. So that becomes the force for his so much of hard work. It can be very gross and gratification also. Like maybe in America, sometimes people may be simply working so hard just for their gross and gratificatory things also. Or they may want to get some fame. That is also one kind of rasa. Some kind of recognition, some rasa. Like some power, that is also rasa. So all these things are different mundane rasa. But what he's saying, so mundane workers labor very hard day and night in order to release a certain kind of rasa, which is under stress and gratification. The relish or taste of the mundane rasa does not long endure. There's a problem. So all this rasa what you get, let's say there is sweet here, right? So the sweet, if I just eat immediately cake, I will feel nice. So I just ate nice cake. But it's over. After 3 minutes, 4 minutes, done. Then next what? Oh, my stomach is a little heavy now. I have to sleep also. Then same thing, So it's not like going to be there all the time. So there are any kind of mundane rasa will only remain for some time. People sometimes get into an affair, boyfriend, girlfriend. This fellow will go for dating and talking, so many partying. But it gets over, it's just over, because then the person will either, go away from you, or you will have some change of your job or situation or country, something, or worst case, the death will terminate, the whole thing. Even if you can go out for long, but eventually death will be there. So then by death, you will be separated also. So these things go away after some time. So none of the rasa in this material world is long enduring. It breaks, it stops. Therefore, mundane workers are always apt to change their position of enjoyment. So they cannot enjoy perpetually. They have to change. Then he said businessman is, that's why, and he gives an example. So one example he gives of businessman. So businessman is working the whole week, he works very hard. But then because he's not satisfied, so this mundane rasa does not touch the soul also. The person doesn't get satisfied. So he gets some rasa, but he doesn't get content. Rasa is there, but content is not. Like you get some happiness, some kind of rasa mellow you get, but content is not. Right? Like Jayap was saying about one of his relatives. He is having so much of money, he's doing business, and he was inviting him also. But then he's not having content. Jayap could see. He doesn't have content. So how can I get the content if I just follow his footsteps? Correct? You remember you were telling me about one relative of yours. You remember? One of your relative, he was inviting you to join his business.
Yes,
but you told, Array, you have so much money, you're working so hard, but you don't have content. I have, and how will I have content if I follow you? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So he got a very good logic, and he did not go for it. He told, I'm okay with what I am able to do right now. I don't have to do much more hard work.
Yep.
So there's intelligence, no? Because you may work very hard, but you won't get content. Even though you may get some happiness that particular rasa. The rasa is basically what people calculate, equate it to happiness. So for that thing, they will work so hard. Like the man will work so hard day and night just to come in the evening and have papa, just to hear that. And then papa will give some kind of, some money fees for the school and some chocolate and something like that. Just for that, he will work so hard day and night. That's what happens. So this kind of rasa makes the person work hard day and night. So he gives example, businessman is not satisfied by working the whole week. Then he wants to change it because he's not content. The content is, so there is no content. Then he wants to find out some other ways, other means. That's why whole business, whole week he will work hard. Then weekend he tries to enjoy some different way. But the point is that after that enjoyment is also over, he's not having content. Then he has to again work also for that, getting the same enjoyment, what he is thinking, what best he can get. Again, he has to work so hard. And again, he comes there. So, and ultimately, overall, he doesn't get any content actually.
Even travelers, when people travel, first time they feel so nice place, but second and third time they feel nothing. Then they look for another place to travel.
Yeah, so much they will travel. That's why people are not satisfied. The village people go to city people go to metro city people come to America people go to Mars or moon. So everywhere people are trying to move because nowhere they are getting content. So he says then after the weekend is spent in foreign, he changes position and resumes his actual happiness. He again changes position and resumes his actual business activities. Yeah. Material engagement means accepting a particular status for some time and then changing it. This position of changing back and forth is technically known as bhoga and tyaga, which means position of alternating sense enjoyment and renunciation. A divinity cannot steadily remain either in sense enjoyment or renunciation because sense enjoyment doesn't give content. Renunciation also doesn't give content. Both of that will not give you satisfaction. That's why you keep changing so much. But a devotee of the Lord, he has deep content. That's why he doesn't so much flicker here and there. I'll tell you in ISKCON there are many examples. No? There's one devotee, two devotees, the Prince, Janivas Prabhu and Pankaj Angri Prabhu. Prabhupada told them, you serve deities in Mayapur, whole life they served. They did not go anywhere, they did not step out only. Practically whole life. Towards the end, because of request of some Maharajas and all, they traveled. Otherwise, they did not go on. And somebody asked, why you did not go on? Nobody asked me.
I think he's having connection issues.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Jai. So I'm here. Sorry. My internet went, so but I'll read. So yes, Pranay, what do you think? Do you have some audio? I'm not able to hear anything.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Audio is very, very poor. One minute, volume. Full volume. Now you speak.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, what are you saying, Prabhu?
No, I was just like saying, like reflecting on your point you said, right? Like for the rasa, everyone is trying to like find some rasa, right? Basically, like with affection, with family, business, money, fame, or anything like some that happiness everyone wants. But anything in this material world is like temporary happiness, right? So if they get something, they'll like switch. Oh, I got the fame, now I want money. I got the money, now I want this, I want my business. I want this. It's like never ending and just they keep running in this cycle. So,
Yeah.
but the eternal happiness, like the bhakti rasa, we can get only from the devotional service. So everyone like wants that, like, but they don't know like they need it. So here they keep running for different things, basically.
Yeah. And they go for this kind of material happiness, different varieties. but they don't get content. I was saying, no?
Yeah.
Heart is not having content. No, why? Is not satisfied. Why not satisfied? Because that mundane rasa, it doesn't give nourishment to the soul also.
Hmm.
That you will see eventually it will come up more. That bhakti rasa actually it nourishes the soul. That's why one finds
Yeah.
satisfaction also.
Hmm.
This is important thing. And also we said, okay, किसने किया था? हम आप किया था? क्या?
वो devotees रात में सोते हैं time से तो
अच्छा, anyway, so you got this point, no? So bhakti rasa is actually bhakti rasa. Sorry, I was saying that mundane rasa it's temporary, also, as you said, mundane rasa just gets over also. You cannot have perpetually. You cannot be also trying to get that. That is also there. And even if you get perpetually, also you won't have content. Like in heaven and all, you may get little for longer time, but still the content is not there. You can see that. And after some time, you have to again come back. That's why people who take LSD and all, they say stay high. No, but Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna, you'll stay high forever. You don't have to come back. That's the thing. So he's saying that change is going on. So sense gratification does not endure for long, and it is therefore called chapala sukh or flickering happiness. For example, an ordinary family man who works very hard day and night and is successful in giving comforts to the members of the family, thereby relishes a kind of mellow, but his whole advancement of material happiness immediately terminates along with his body as soon as his life is over. You can see that practically speaking, how person gets separated from his family, and whatever happiness one was so much depending on, his wife, children, all together, everything is cut off, gone. It's completely gone. So that's why we should always think that temporary nature of all our source of happiness in this world. All things will be cut off at one point of time. So even if you don't want, also it will be cut off. Like we so much struggle hard to keep all family members with us and do this, but one point of time we are separated. You'll see that. So no matter how much you try, they'll be gone. So that's why he's saying, for example, so we are hard day and night they'll work so hard, but successfully giving comforts to the members of the family. But he's saying that okay, thereby releases a kind of mellow, but his whole advancement will happen immediately terminates along with his body as soon as his life is over. The rest is taken as the representative of God for the atheistic class of men. The devotee realizes the presence of God by devotional service, where the atheist realizes the presence of God in the shape of death. At death, everything is finished, and one has to begin a new chapter of life. It is such a nice point, a very striking point. New chapter. New chapter means the whole chapter is forgotten. You don't even know what you are doing. No? So, like say, you're just like you're engineer, you have done, you're millionaire, you have beautiful wife, kids, everything, and then next chapter, maybe you went born in a Mumbai slum area, crawling in near gutter. It's possible, right? Or a new chapter could be a puppy dog. So new chapter can be anything. So how cruel this material nature is, one should think like that. So we should become little sober, Prabhu. It's very important. That's why the actually many people, those who take even this kind of renounce order also. The meaning of that is like civilly dead. Civilly dead means what? They die before they die only. So there's one lecture of Bhakti Tirth Maharaj. He says, die before you die. Meaning, don't wait for death to cut off your attachments. That anyway will be chapter will be over. You close the chapter before only. That means don't identify yourself with all these things and don't depend on them for your happiness. Your happiness should be fully and wholly depend upon taking shelter of Krishna. Rather, you make them happy. Like even though you may be till end of your life, you may have friends and society and some loved ones may be there. I mean, the people who are connected to your body, but you don't derive any happiness through that because your happiness wholly and fully comes from Krishna. Then, and then you receive happiness from Krishna. You perform devotional service, and then you give that inspiration to others to perform devotional service, even if you have any connection with anybody in this world. Maybe your father, mother, brother, sister, if you're married, your wife, kids, whatever. You understand, no? So this is how it becomes. So you don't depend on them for your internal state of happiness. So that's why eventually before leaving this body, we have to come to that platform where we are truly deriving only bhakti rasa. We are not dependent on any other rasa here in this world. So devotee realizes the presence of God by devotional service, whether atheist realizes the presence of God in shape of death. At death, everything is finished, and one has to begin a new chapter of life in a new situation, perhaps higher or lower than the last one. Each and every line should be contemplated. After the class, we should close our eyes and contemplate. What did I learn today? Today I was doing it. I read, for around an hour. Then I was sitting in the car. I closed my eyes for 10 minutes. I was just thinking, what did I read? And I was thinking, okay, this point over there, that point over there. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, they met. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed the Shadbhuj form, then 400 form, the 200 form. Then the discussion about Jagai and Madhai, the description about Sachi Mata's really getting relief from offensive because then when she touched the lotus feet of Advaitacharya. Like that I was thinking at different points, what Prabhupada spoke, what I read. So we all have to think like that. And I'll believe me, if you do this, Prabhu, you will see you get so much more. Sometimes we close the lecture and we close the laptop and we close our contemplation. I think then we don't get much advantage also. So it's important to also think about what we have learned and read and heard also. So it is said, first is reading, hearing, but you have to think also about what we have read and heard. We have to think about it also. So thinking about it will lead to better understanding. And then you have to think of applying also in our life. And then it will become your realization eventually. So we have to also think about what we have read and heard. So that is called, then you'll get better understanding. And so that's why we have to recollect. It's called recollection. Like once you have heard, then recollection. So recollection helps us to really assimilate. And then we can think of applying also. Otherwise, assimilation doesn't happen if you don't try to recollect. And what happens nowadays, because of modern gadgets, our recollection capacity has become very poor. Because we don't want to, before people, even they have to remember their mobile number, they have to recollect from their memory. Nowadays, people, nothing. We are grateful that at least people are trying to remember their names. Otherwise, they'll say name also, they'll pull out. Okay, what's my name? Pull it out. Everything they pull out. Correct? Where I have to go? Let me pull out my calendar. Here, there. Let me pull out this. Let me pull out the number. Cut like this. Everything is pulled out because we're so handicapped. We don't use our brain only. No memory we use. So we have to recollect what we have read and heard also. Like Zaya Prabhu sincerely makes notes, and then he tries to repeat. It's very good actually. See, when you made notes, that means at least you have put down things, and then later, even if you're not able to recollect, sometimes you can again go through the notes. Then you try to recollect that point. Oh yeah, this point was discussed, that point was discussed. So that way we will get helped. So that's why he's saying that new chapter of life in a new situation, perhaps higher or lower than the last one. So this kind of point should be meditated actually. It is such a deep point. Because if you just think about it, you become sober. You understand where I am so much struggling in this chapter, but this chapter is going to be over. What is the use of it? So much I'm trying to work hard and do this and do that, but this chapter is just going to get over in some time. Just like this movie is going to go over. This drama is going to get over. Then next then nobody is interested. Your role is changed. Your role is also changed. Everything's changed. So how does it matter? So at death, everything is finished, and one has to begin a new chapter of life in a new situation, perhaps higher or lower than the last one. In any field of activity, political, social, national, international, the result of our actions will be finished with the end of life. That is sure. It's amazing, But he is saying the next line, Bhakti Rasa, however, the mellow religion, transcendental loving service of the Lord, does not finish with the end of life. It continues perpetually and is therefore called Amrita, that which does not die but exists eternally. That we will discuss tomorrow more. That how this Bhakti Rasa continues permanently. See, Prabhu, this Nectar of Devotion is a very powerful book. If you attain this lecture, all this, if you go through this book, it will really give you much very deep understanding of science of devotional service, and you become very fixed up devotees actually, because you will know what kind of thing is driving me and where I am heading to. You can clearly see in your life, and you consciously can actually choose to remain on the platform Bhakti Rasa, developing that, because that's a real investment. Otherwise, other things, we are cheated then. So, but if mundane rasa we get bewildered and we just run after that, then we get cheated. Okay, so let's pause here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Do you have any reflection? Xavier Prabhu or Pranay Prabhu or Venu Prabhu, anybody? Anyone?
Yeah, I think the one point you said about forgetting everything, people in spite of having so many ways of remembering gadgets, everything. I think we keep forgetting every time we uh, go to a kirtan or something and everything, and we keep forgetting because the priorities keep changing every day. I think the important thing is to attend the uh, like chanting, uh, attending the uh, assemblies like this one every regularly, so that we keeps reminding, because otherwise even if a short break, sometimes we keep forgetting. That's why it's these are the ways to engage, so that way only way not to forget is to keep engaging as much as and as many ways as possible.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good point. This is one way, and also first thing is to engage more and more, and also to reflect and recollect, also recollect and share.
Right. Yeah.
That will enhance. Also. Yes. Any last thing to reflect on?
Yeah, one thing, like you said, right? Every time, like after a death, there is a like new chapter basically. So here, whatever we are like earning, working, spending like most of our time like for all of that, right? Position, money, and everything. But after death, I think then it will be a new chapter. We start again. So that is one point. So we should keep that in mind, and like only we'll take like the chanting and all the devotional service we did, right? So that will only go with us. Like even if we like somehow don't go back to Godhead, if we still come back here, but because of that, it will be like still more pleasant conditions and good environment for bhakti would be there for us, so we can go there again, basically try again.
Yeah. And also, bro, you see, our chapter in this life also kept changing. Like our babyhood chapter got over in 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Our teenage son is over. Correct? Is over. No. You see, your life that time was completely different when you were in college. Life when you were a small boy was different, completely different. Nothing was there. See, no responsibility of wife, kids, nothing. You were a kid, and you had completely other responsibility, completely other activities. So that chapter is over. Now, nothing of that is relevant today. Same thing now that your authorities were father, mother, that was the main factor, so many things. Now completely different factors. Our fears and worries and anxiety, all those things changed. What we were anxiety about that time was completely different from what we have. Correct? So how the chapter in this life also keeps changing. Time of death, the chapter changes. So now those things you are so anxious about, thinking too much, worrying and all that, and no relevance now. So like I said, next life, that thing of relevance will be there. That's why one should.
I think again the internet issue.
Yeah. Like right when he was gonna make like key point two.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear you. Couldn't hear you, Xavier. What did you say? I couldn't hear you, Xavier.
I'm here.
I could not hear you. No, I could not hear. I could not hear. What did you say? I did not hear you.
I'm not
No,
saying.
I think he only said your internet, I think, went away. It's like,
Oh, acha, acha. Now you are able to hear?
yeah, we are able to hear, but video is frozen. Yeah.
Before it was disconnecting in between.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
poor connection.
Oh,
But
so what did you hear the point, Pranay Prabhu? What did you hear? What you heard?
couldn't hear that last point properly.
Oh my God. What I was saying?
Different lives, the same life. A student will lose all the memories. I think that's about it.
Yeah, so our chapter changes.
Yeah,
Completely
that
gets
I
changed.
heard, correct.
But I'm
Birth,
what I'm saying is that
small child,
yeah, I'm
teenage,
saying that correct. Yeah, so that's why a devotee, whatever he does, no, whether it's job or
Mm.
anything is that, he always remains mindful of his real purpose. No? So you don't get too absorbed and involved in those activities. No? And those activities also we do in a Krishna conscious way. No? Keep always do that in association of Krishna only. That's why direct duties is very important. No? That's why we should plan our life in a way that we have some direct devotional service, very nicely done. Like our chanting, our reading, our hearing, like very, very vital, like that. Especially, morning hours, if you do very nice sadhana, then the whole day it is easy for you to, do everything in association. Because Krishna will be there in your mind then. Then you can do like Mamanus Prayodhacha. Then it is possible. Otherwise, it's difficult. So that's why, we all should try our best to, be early, get up early and do our nice sadhana. It's very important. Okay, let us pause here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakti ki jai, Sai Baba Mandir.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, I couldn't ask today. I was busy in some things, but I'll try to prioritize.
Yeah.
Sai Baba.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.